Hi, my name is Jan Ragnerud. I'm the author of The Ultimate Guide to Optimizing Your Website with Entrepreneur Press and McGraw-Hill, out in the bookstores now. I am excited that you're here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Friday Footage. It is Friday afternoon time. Crazy busy fun day. How about you all? All right. Well, great. We're coming in live from Facebook, which is wonderful. And we are broadcasting out to iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, and elsewhere on Media and Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Jan Ragnerud. I'm the founder and creative director over at chaosmap.com. And if you are looking live right now, you can see it, www.chaosmap.com. So let's call that the sponsors for today, because we are sponsoring this broadcast. And hey, Friday Footage is where we like to every Friday show you some really cool software, tools, some strategies, and really demos of stuff, right? And we don't go too deep on these, but we show you some of the tools that we use and, you know, open up the kimono, as it were. I kind of like that expression, actually. It also gives you a chance to look over our shoulder and take a look-see. And here we are, Scream, Edvard Munch, Norwegian painter from my homeland, and artist and creator, as we all are creators. And today we are creating a technology video here with how to make your SEO scream. And that's what we're talking about. We are going to really show you some cool stuff here today on what the heck that actually means and how you can use it too. Because SEO, of course, stands for search engine optimization, is a powerful strategy / tactic, depending on where you're at in the life cycle there, that you should be using and leveraging no matter what business you are in online, whether it's local, whether it's national, whether it's global. And of course, SEO, very briefly, is the art and the science of ranking pages high in Google and search engine results so that people see you, and create compelling messaging around that so that they actually click and engage. There's a lot more than just the ranking. Back in the day when I was working with Excite and Alta Vista and Hotbot and, Yahoo, of course, back in the day when it was a directory. I mean, it was just so much spam capability there. You could just flood it with keywords and meta tags and meta information, and you would just rank. And then little old Google came along in 1998, Page and Brin, and basically changed the landscape forever. It was an idea of authority building through citations or, link building. Basically, any authoritative, it came from the white paper, kind of the student white papers and research papers, where, of course, these guys are major scientists, so I'm not, diminishing that fact. But they figured out that, hey, if any other, official paper or research paper would reference others, then that must be of high authority. It's a trust factor. There's equity built into that. And so, of course, Google, fast forward many, many years now, and the simplicity of that Google search box back in the day, I started using it around 2000, and I thought it was just almost too simple to be good. And then you started digging into the results, and it was good, right? Because they used a totally different approach than the other search engines at the time. And they also had been approached, or they approached Yahoo at that time to be bought out. And there's been many stories in this search game over the years, but suffice it to say, a huge player back then, and became just a behemoth and just a gigantuan player and a number one player in the world. And of course, number two is Google YouTube, the other search engine there, complementary. But I'm not going to talk about the history too much here. other than to say I've been doing that since 2006. I didn't know it was called SEO. I actually did that even before then. And that's what the agency came out of. But I digress. Let's go back and look at this actual tool here. So it's Friday footage. And what we're talking about is, I'm kind of skipping some things here. I don't want you to look at this tool and say, okay, well, this is the Holy Grail and I got my SEO solved. Yeah, you're going to make your SEO scream here by making changes according to what this tool can provide. But it is not about the tool. It's about building a strategy and using tools to kind of help you, the expert or the beginner, to get visibility into what needs to happen or needs to change. And so Screaming Frog is the product, which you can get at screamingfrog.co.uk, and they've come a long way with their tool. And it is a free tool up to 500 pages, and you can see the pages here is listed over here. This happens to just be search engine land that I spidered here, and essentially this tool does exactly that. It sort of acts like a search engine in that it crawls URLs in websites. So I picked search engine land. Great website on search, and a lot more if you want to check that out. But ultimately here, I just type it in at the top and I hit start, which really is the same as Spider Me Now. And it quickly pulls back pages, and you can see it here. I can hit it again. It pulls back pages very, very quickly. And oh yes, and there's a free version, as I said, and a paid version. We need to actually upgrade that license. Side note. Okay, good. So now what happens is it's still going down here, 372 of 500, right? 77%, very quick. But really what we're doing here is we're simulating what a search engine would do at that top level. You know, hit me up with the first URL and let me see what else I find. It could be something like an image, right? That one right there. Let me make sure that that is an image. Yes, it is. There's another image. Here's actually a URL. Here's an author, Wesley Parker, right? Well, we can see this because I could sort it now by content. You know, see here, I just clicked on it, auto sorts. It's all the text information at first. Let me scroll here. And if I scroll down, now it's switched to image, SVG right there, and then it's images. And we're going to see scripts later down. There it is. So here's a bunch of JavaScript. Now, how wonderful is this, right? Instantly, I get a list of all the pages that it found, including all the parameters here, status code, indexability, title tag, meta tags, all of that. And I'll get into that in a second. But essentially what I can do here is I can just make this very quick and hit an export on here and just, you know, start looking through it. Because ultimately what we do here is do a top level scan. We start filtering out the things that we are looking for, and we look for obvious errors like, let's see here. Let me just sort by status code 404. Well, here's a broken image on search engine land. Is this the end of the world? No. Should they fix that? Yeah, as an authority in the space, you know, it'd be nice to not have that there, right? But that's not a showstopper. Here's a bunch of 307s, right? All these status codes, 302s, 301. All of these status codes are very important to understand and what to do with them based on this, right? And if you have a site, let's say you've gone through a migration, so you're going from, you know, site A to site B, and you're dealing with redirections. Well, what a great, phenomenal way for you to look at your SEO URLs or your website URLs for SEO purposes to figure out what needs to be 301, what needs to be, you know, handled in terms of that redirection. So that's just one little snippet, right? And you can go through all of these tabs. I'm not going to go through all of them, but what we do, and literally what we do when we're on calls with potential clients, and I'll start there, is we talk on the phone, and we'll know a little bit about the website already. But if we are just literally jumping on the call right there because we're doing just an introductory call and talking a little bit about us, and et cetera. By the way, us meaning chaosmap.com. If you want to visit over there, you can set up a quick appointment as well, chaosmap.com. But what we do is we talk to the client or the prospect, and we ask them for their URL, or we will have already typed it in. And then we'll get these lists back. And right away, we can sort it, say, by status code, right? You can do these filters over here based on whatever the choices are. So if I'm on, let's see, response codes here. I can select all, or I can select the ones that often has a great sort of response to the client when we tell them we did a quick scan and we're looking at it right now, and we see that you have 200 404 errors, and a lot of them seem fairly important. And again, here's where the depth of this gets much larger in discussion, because you need to check analytics, you need to check your backlink profiles, etc. But ultimately, you just want a quick scan and a quick conversation to give some juicy details and information that you can help them with, right? So for instance, let's see here. So here's one. Software CEO has a 403. I can go down here to these tabs. Again, I'm not going to go all of it, but I can see where that link is coming from, right? And it's coming from staff to software CEO. And I can just pick any URL that I want to look at, and I can open two in browser, right? So now I'm opening the browser here, and it's actually loading up on this screen right here. And we can see that there's a problem here. Okay. Now, this is one of those things where, a little thing like this is not going to be the end of the world, especially not for an authority site like Search Engine Land. In fact, when you have brands in Google, they give you a lot of leeway. You can get away with stuff that, a smaller business would not. But ultimately, what I wanted to show you here today is the fact that you can scan any website, and that would be yours out the gate, and find out information about the URL structure. You can even come in here and you can look at the the crawl tree graph. So let's see here. So let me click off of that. Come on. Yeah, you know what? It's really great when the demo doesn't quite behave the way I want. So let's do that again. Okay. So here we have the root. Here's search engine marketing. Here's Bing. I can essentially go in here and start looking at essential information that supports this particular page. So a favak icon is worth 1,000 words. We see the H1, the H2, crawl depth, unique in links. This is where it gets more technical, the page title, etc. Some of these obvious ones, if they're not matching and don't make sense to your keyword research and to your content marketing, well, you can go in and get a very clear and fast picture on some of these things by looking at it visually. You look at this in a list like this. Page title is very important as well, right? So I can come in here, and based on that choice, page title in this case, I want to see, are there any duplicates? Okay. Well, duplicate content is a big issue. You don't want, page A and page B to fight for each other based on duplicate content or duplicate titles. And again, more information is needed on this because you could have a duplicate title, but the content is different, but it needs to be fixed up and optimized. And that's an opportunity for you to rank higher, for you to maybe possibly merge those pages, etc. But here, we see these IDs here, contact, these are not the end of the world here actually. But the truth is you want this visibility and you want this access and you want it fast. Any pages with the page titles over 65, we know that is not a standard or recommendation. We want it to be less than that, right? But there's also other considerations. But let me tell you another aspect of this, meta description, right? Meta descriptions are not a ranking factor, but they are very instrumental in getting that click. So same thing here, over 155 characters. There's some of those, right? Well, some of these we don't worry about too much because it's just news or what have you. It's an aggregate kind of thing, but you can also look at, there's a bunch of meta descriptions missing here. Again, the tool is a tool. So you wouldn't look at this and say, oh my God, Search Engine Land sucks. They haven't done their meta description and they're supposed to be an authority site. Well, I think not. And then you write a big article about that when in fact, none of these really matter. Let me see, who cares about Barry Schwartz getting a meta description here? This is, I'm hammering on you, Barry. No, but really, these are not going to be, again, you have to look at your analytics. Now, when I mention analytics over here, you have the ability to connect your Google Analytics directly in here, as well as your Search Console. See that over there? Well, this is just phenomenal information because now you're starting to look at the real data. Yes, we saw the links over here. We saw the pages. We looked at some of the page titles, the meta descriptions. We haven't looked at images yet. A lot of opportunity here, by the way, for ranking or getting images shown in image search. The H1 and H2s, etc. But we want to make sure that this is, quote unquote, part of our on-page SEO strategy, and that we are compliant and that we are leading edge on that in terms of speaking to our audience. But then what does it mean in the back end? If you have a site of 10,000 pages or 100,000 pages, you can't just run this through and run willy-nilly. By the way, for large sites like this, we use other tools, but you want to look at your analytics and your search console and start getting really the meat and potatoes, if you will, of the traffic, of the activity throughout the site, so that you can create a SEO optimization strategy based on data, not just what it looks and feels like because you read a book somewhere, right? And again, I have 3 books on this, so that means you probably read one of my books, but you haven't taken it to the next level. Or maybe you have, and you're really awesome. In fact, I get, the book is a few years old now, the last one with Entrepreneur Press, but I still get emails of people thanking me for the tips and the insights. And also link metrics are over here, where very, very important. So again, for Friday footage, just want to share this with you. Sitemaps, automatic generation here, but also what's very cool is you can run a sitemap on your website and then take it over here and then import it to here and match it up to see what's missing and what's not missing. These are more quote unquote advanced strategies. You can run a lot of different reports here to get the crawl overview, international hreflang, of course, SERP summaries, orphan pages. So by the time you're done with this, I mean, you'll have one person or half a person dedicated to this, tool / building out the strategies to make sure that that you're getting this done right. And so I just wanted to let you know that this is one of the power tools. There's others out there, obviously, in the space, and there's some completely free ones. But this is central to a lot of the work that we do out in the marketplace for clients. And in fact, we even back in the day, we used to kind of be a little secretive about these things, not necessarily this tool, but other things. Now we like to educate and share. And obviously this podcast is a proof of that. But, we don't hold back. The truth is a tool like this is powerful, but without a strategy, it's just going to be fixes and highlights here and there. So it actually, it is true what they say when they say a power tool like this in the wrong hands is actually dangerous, because you could start changing things here that actually tank some of the efforts that were done because you didn't know exactly what to change and why. And that's going to be very, very important. So that is really the main focus for today's Friday footage. And once again, if you want more information, just head on over to chaosmap.com, chaosmap.com, and get more information. If you'd like to jump on a call, we can do that. And we can even do a Zoom or a GoToMeeting, and we can take you through this and share your particular site and some of the things we might change based on the findings. At least, advice that gives you a certain direction. And we also have our blog where you can find more information on this. But I thought this would be helpful for today's Friday footage. And keep the questions and the comments coming. And if you are on the broadcast on Media and Marketing for iTunes, etc., would love a review, at least a subscription if you can. Just come on in, man, because we post daily, and love those reviews. That helps everybody. When we win, you win, type of thing. So that's it. Happy Friday to you all. Have a great weekend. This is Jan, and I'm going to close with the wonderful